cannot wait to get annoyed.
Annoyed by what?
Just by things, especially since my, feelings about the Hearts of Oak loss are beginning to, kind of even out and all of that. So it'd be nice to have something.
Hold on. Bayern Munich, they played a game yesterday. They lost 5 goals to 0. Bayern Munich, 5 goals to 0.
Oh, okay. Bayern Munich is the team for which region of Accra? Of Ghana, sorry.
It's a German team. It's a German team.
Oh, where is Germany? Is Germany in Africa?
It's a massive team.
Is Germany in Africa?
No.
Is Germany in Ghana? Does Bayern Munich have anything to do with Ghana? No. House of Oak is here. Accra. Ghana, no. You can't be comparing yourselves to Bayern Munich and stuff. I mean, come on. Okay,
the sports guys will come in and tell you a lot more about the Bayern Munich
I just care about House of Oak and their abysmal loss. Should we do the newspapers? Or should we continue to talk about...
Big teams lose.
Should we continue to talk about Hearts of Oak this morning?
Okay.
So do you qualify for the army or the immigration service?
Yeah. Are you sure? I'm tall enough.
You're tall enough.
I don't have tattoos.
No tattoos, no piercings, no stretch marks.
No stretch marks.
No bleaching.
No bleaching.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. And you fall within the age of sergeant, lieutenant, major, colonel.
Okay. Yeah, maybe the age may not work for me.
The age may not work for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you can be an army consultant on communication affairs.
It's true.
Yes. Everything is possible, including losing by 6 goals. So, yeah. Should we do the daily?
And just for the record, it's 6-1.
The one doesn't matter. It's still 6 against you. You allowed them to shoot you 6 times.
Wait, 6-1. So 6 minus 1, it's 5.
Okay, I have a question for you.
The same margin Bayern Munich lost.
I have a question for you. How many times did the ball enter your net?
6 times.
That's all I had to say about that. Okay. Should we do the daily graphic or should we continue?
Okay. Let's get on with the daily graphic. And on the front page, will you allow me to continue?
Yes.
On the front page, STC faces financial crisis, losing 50 million cedis to COVID-19, appeals for urgent bailout. So Intercity...
Wait, but STC, were they not facing crisis already?
Oh, they've been doing fine for some time.
They've been doing fine. So people have stopped travel. Okay, because of the spacing.
Because of that. So Intercity STC Coaches Limited has lost over 50 million cedis in revenue since the COVID-19 pandemic struck in March last year and needs immediate financial bailout to survive. The company lost about 3 million cedis during the partial lockdown of Accra and 7.5 million cedis as a result of the social distancing directive by the government that required vehicles to operate at half passenger capacity. The managing director of STC has disclosed this to the Daily Graphic, and he said the company has also been losing about 2.6 million cedis monthly over the last 17 months because of the closure of land borders with neighboring countries such as Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Burkina Faso, and Togo, where STC operated too. So, and then he also talks about the high fuel prices. So, well, STC needs bailout, but STC is not the only one that needs bailout. Everybody needs bailout.
Including Hearts of Oak.
Okay, let's move on. Which other story do you have on the front page of the Daily Graphic? AFDB grants 75 million cedi dollar loan to GIF, facility to finance projects. And then coordinated effort needed to combat climate change, Shebi declaration, and stay off KNUST lands or face my wrath. That's Asante Hene saying that. And I'm also interested in the Shebi declaration. It's on page 16. We'll get to that in a bit. It doesn't seem we talk that much or pay much attention to climate change, but we should. Inside Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa to see economic recovery, and BioNTech to make vaccines in Senegal and Rwanda. Okay, that's good. You can also make the vaccines here in Ghana, so. And Kenyans shun voter registration exercise, but let's get on. Oh, interesting, there's this story here, World Stroke Day. October 24 every year has been set aside to create awareness about stroke. We're talking about the heart today on the AM show, so you want to stay tuned in for that. I'm seeing a wanted person's image being posted in
Jones
the Daily
Ofori.
Graphic. Jones Oforiatta. He's wanted.
For what though?
Yeah. Immediate arrest of for the offenses of defrauding by false pretense and fraudulent transaction. Okay. So the photo is here. We don't have that, but well, Jones Oforiatta is wanted. So if you know him.
If you know him, tell him he's wanted, or if you know him, turn him in.
If you know him, both.
Okay.
Tell him that he's wanted, and then you can turn him in as well if he's refusing to make himself available. All right, and gender, NGO calls on Parliament to ratify ILO Convention 190. Don't divorce wives with breast cancer. Dr. Yafi advises husbands. Oh, I meant divorcing.
I mean, obviously, there must be if the doctor is saying that you shouldn't. Maybe they missed the for better, for worse, and sickness and in health part of the vows. So. All
right, AFDB grants $75 million loan to GIFT. That's the story that was on the front page. And then coordinated effort needed to combat climate change, Chebi Declaration. So participants in the climate change dialogue have underscored the need for coordinated efforts within and among nations to bring local actions to overcome climate change. They expressed the conviction that a meaningful fight against climate change and the quest for sustainable development in Africa would require that all actions were aligned with the elimination of poverty. So this was contained in a 31-point declaration known as the Chebi Declaration, issued at the end of a 2-day royal dialogue on climate change and the UN Sustainable Development Goals in Chebi in the Eastern region. There's more in the Daily Graphic. Politics, reject anti-LGBTQI plus bill. Group urges Parliament. So the concerned citizens against the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill 2020 have called on Parliament to reject the bill as it is unconstitutional and has no place in a secular democratic state. So you can get a bit more on that on page 17. It has Mr. Akoto Ampah, a member of the concerned Ghanaian citizens, reading a statement on behalf of the group during the media briefing, which was yesterday. Medina MP drags police to Parliament for contempt. We have that story in the AM News. Alleged incest, NDC communicator trial adjourned. So the trial of the Central Regional Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress, Emmanuel Kwesi Dawood, has been adjourned to November 2, 2021. Then we go to, let's head towards the page 24. Right, President presents vehicles to armed forces, cut short for housing projects. So there's some nice vehicles here that the president has handed over to the Jeeps. Yeah,
I've seen them, very nice.
Quite robust, yeah. They're lovely. DVLA completes phase 2 digitalization project. Okay, wondering what that will bring. And help us settle judgment as UG Vice Chancellor appeals to President. Mr. President, I would like to make an appeal to your government to deliver us from this rogue that hinders our growth and effort to be truly world-class. That's an appeal coming from the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Nana Abba Apia Amfo, who was had a ceremony to think investiture. So okay.
Yeah,
so,
it was yesterday, and
yeah, it was yesterday.
I think I remember the story.
I had swearing in actually.
Yeah, the University of Ghana contracted some. I think it was pen drive, some kind of, and then there was a whole thing about it. It's the story. The botched agreements leading to the deaths. I remember I did the story. I just can't remember all the details of it. But I think the points that she was making was that because of this massive debt, it's difficult to develop the university or to open up. And she was talking about the fact that with free SHS, they're going to have to expand. So they want some city campuses in Kumasi and I think Cape Coast as well. But they need money to be able to do that. But right now, lots of money has been siphoned into paying off some of these things. So expansion has become a problem. And I think that this is something very important because I would hope that in the campaign promising and the implementation of free SHS, we were mindful of the fact that a lot more students will then be going to universities. So what is the plan for expanding these universities? Because I haven't really seen any comprehensive plan, to expand the capacity of, the universities, their infrastructure, their teachers, their professors, all of that. So if there are lots more kids going to SHS and you haven't made plans to accommodate them at university level, are you putting a cap on their education and saying, that's it? And we talk about technical universities a lot and stuff, but not everybody wants to do that. Sometimes people just want to go and get a degree and whatever, and they should be able to do it. So again, it's a very typical scenario here in Ghana, how we expand a road and then it all kind of goes into one lane, like the Tematon Road, now it's free SHS, going into university. So
it's a conversation that came up actually, and the government's attention was drawn to it, and government said
they didn't know when they were planning the thing.
The government's attention was drawn to it, and they said yes, we have that in mind. So
in mind, which part of the mind? Because the free SHS, like they are doing the free SHS.
Yeah, and they should be getting into the universities.
So the plan is still in their minds, or hey.
Well,
and then stop hiring the commercial jets and use the money to expand the universities.
They should still hiring commercial jets.
Yeah, for the president. Use the money to pay some of the debts and stop making, like, some of the things, you see, corruption is such a big thing. Some of the, what's the name?
What's your problem with the president?
I don't have a problem with the presidential jet. If the president wants Air Force One and we can afford it, give him Air Force One.
Okay.
But mind you, the person who has Air Force One look at the number of universities in the US. They're not fighting over free SHS and classrooms and trees. And do you know what I mean? Like, we'll get there, but let's be challenging. It's just, yeah.
Well, but you said the president used to be your chucho mucho. You should have discussed it with him before.
I've left him for all these reasons. I mentioned it
to him.
Yes, on the show. I did. Before Eugene came and did the press conference. Anyway, apparently the minority are making noise about it, so I'll leave them to.
Yeah, so they're bringing it up on the floor in Parliament. They brought a motion to that effect. All right, let's get on with the news review. Use strategic stocks to reduce high fuel prices. So, former Finance Minister Setekbe has advised the government to use money accrued from the price stabilization and recovery levy to build strategic stocks of crude oil and use same to cushion consumers in the event of soaring world market prices of the commodity. Now, this is what everybody else is talking about, and we're expecting that to happen. Hopefully,
everybody else is not talking about that. Everybody else is talking about House of Folk and how they lost the match.
Okay, I hear you. Have they stopped talking about it, or they are still talking about it?
So we'll talk about it until we are satisfied.
And what will satisfy you?
I don't know.
Hey. All right, in showbiz, Gambro not attractive. That's your dope saying that. And no sense in rap nowadays. Padogo.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. I don't agree with that.
With Padogo.
I don't even know who he is in the first place.
Oh, he used to be one of those guys who started doing in this rap thing, hip life thing a while back.
I mean, when you talk about deep lyrics like myself or Kratom, JD or Brafo, Lord Kenya, I mean, yes, but even in those times, there were still the really silly rap songs. And I mean, in these times, we have Kojo Q, for example, who spits out really good lyrics that make sense. We have people like Walasi, who are talking sense, manifest, so how do you just... Right, thank you. Definitely not Hearts of Folk. They don't have a rap team, do they?
Reclassify licenses or forget government bids. That's the roads minister saying that. And let's get to see what we have in sports. In sports...
Israel, I've been talking for 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, I've been talking. You have also contributed as well. Queen's Baton Relay ends in Kumasi. And there's a photo here of Otumfuo Setutu receiving the Queen's Baton from Isabel Nunu Mensah at the Menchia Palace yesterday. And President Akufo-Addo also handing over the Queen's Baton to Mrs. Akusia Fremont Pari, the Chief of Staff, to start a 3-day tour. And then on the back graphic, Uracare hold breast screening exercise. This breast screening exercise has been happening for some time now.
No, yesterday they said they were going to do it, and today they are saying they've done it.
All right, 2 robbers die in gun battle with police. Okay, that's it for the Daily Graphic.
Oh God, we thought you'd never finish. Okay, Daily Guide. Daily Guide is very interesting today.
Okay.
So, 217 million CD financial loss. Attorney General defends Opuni ruling. There are so many stories around this this thing. I'm not going to talk about any of them because I can't take on the Attorney General.
Why?
In the court of law. We tried to argue with him before. Yeah, no, not today. This story is the one that is just Shatawale and medical undergo spiritual cleansing. When was the last time you were spiritually cleansed?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah. In my commune with God, I get spiritual cleansing.
Which commune is this? Did you talk to our House of Folk? You did you? But we had to speak on digital economy. Nana gives more vehicles to the military. Let's do a few international stories. Senators back criminal charges against Bolsonaro. U.S. begins legal appeal to extradite Assange. Oh, Assange. He's always in trouble. He's always in trouble. I wonder how, like...
If you let him be, I mean...
Yeah, like... Lawyers for the U.S. have told the High Court the judge who blocked Julian Assange's extradition was misled by his psychiatrist. Oh, wow. Okay.
WikiLeaks must have hurt the U.S. government.
Oh, yeah. WikiLeaks has. WikiLeaks. And I think, so he's wanted about the publication of thousands of classified documents in 2010 and 2011. The U.S. are saying that the leaks broke the law and endangered lives, but Mr. Assange says the case is politically motivated. His life is very interesting. African Union suspends Sudan over coup. Nigerian man arrested for putting himself on sale. Just said times are hard. You sell yourself. So this guy, 26-year-old Ali Yuna Idris, was trending on social media last weekend for putting himself out for sale due to poverty. Hizbah commander Harun Ibn Sana confirmed the arrest to the BBC. Yes, we arrested him on Tuesday. He spent the night with us. What he did is forbidden in Islam. You can't try to sell yourself no matter your condition or your situation. The arrested Taylor has been speaking to local journalists before his arrest. He said he was in a huge financial mess. Hence his decision to put himself up for 20 million naira, $49,000, 35,000 pounds. And he was selling himself to wholeheartedly serve his buyer. So before he did this, he broke down the money. So if somebody had bought him for the $49,000, he planned to give his parents $24,000. Then he will pay $12,000 as tax to the government, give $5,000 to anyone who helps me to get a buyer, and then keep the remaining for his daily upkeep. He was planning to pay tax. I mean, he's tired. Do you understand? Like, wapre, selling himself. Breast cancer is not a spiritual disease. Yeah. As for Ghana, there we can make everything spiritualist. Okay, let me tell you about Shatawale and medical spiritual cleansing. So, celebrated dancehall artists Shatta and Medical, they visited one of the beaches in Accra to perform some spiritual rites. Together with 3 others, the artists have been on remand. Now, they were seen in a video holding hands with their heads bowed, praying at the beach. And they were accompanied by their close families and friends and some fans. So, it's interesting. The picture has, I think, Shatawale in boxers and the rest of them in clothes. Spiritual cleansing at the beach. I don't get it when people post news. That's actress Martha Nkuma speaking. And she obviously has been a role model for young girls who want to remain decent and still pursue a career in showbiz, because she's always been so decently dressed and almost, you know, scandal-free. So, yeah. Mother of legendary rapper Snoop Dogg dies, and Ifya Schwarzenegger is advising Shatawale and Medical. I don't even want to know what she said. Like, Okay. So she says, Ifya Schwarzenegger says, Medical and Shatawale should take advantage of their current situation and embark on a positive campaign that will benefit their followers. So take steps to educate their followers in connection to their recent arrests. That's what she's saying. So basically, you know, turn it around, do some PR, and yeah. Okay, so more Ghanaians risk contracting stroke. That story there. Celestine Donka appointed as COVID-19 ambassador. And on the back page, Bayern star avoids jail for defying court order. I prefer another player to Hazard, that's Carlo Ancelotti speaking there. Pochettino still Man United #1 target. And GFA boss begs, GFA begs FIFA for fairness in Ethiopia-Ghana game in South Africa. So the Ghana Football Association has officially sent an appeal to FIFA asking that their World Cup qualifier against Ethiopia, which has been moved to South Africa, a country in Ghana's group, is not compromised. Okay, I'm not sure why they are worried that it will be compromised, but I'm sure Reku will tell us more about it when he comes after 7 o'clock. Okay. Okay,
I'll do the dispatch daily dispatch quickly. I'll revisit referendum to pave way for election of MMDCs. That's Akufo-Addo saying that. Where J donates maternity block to KNUST. Why didn't you present your 1 million votes to the Supreme Court? Kabila asks Mahama. Re-equipping armed forces, we have made gains, but we need to do more. That's Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Dubaumia. And then on the back page, there's this photo which shows the recent, like the some coaches who have, some people who have coached the Manchester United in recent times. So the last 4, and it has David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and they're looking at the games they've played, the games they've won, the games they've lost, and the trophies they've won. So Ole, and it looks like the percentage win. The percentage, so Ole actually is not doing so bad. It's usually around, so David Moyes, 53% wins. Louis van Gaal, 52%. Jose Mourinho, 58%. So Jose Mourinho appears to have been the most successful so far in recent times. And Ole, he's won 55% of the game, of his matches. But then he's the one with 0 trophies. You know what's interesting? George Addo Jr. and I did some analysis on Jose Mourinho and how he has managed to make more money from being let go, from being fired, than he actually has from keeping a job. So there's just a story that I want to do quickly before we go to my Joy Online. Junkies, mental health patients occupy Accra streets. And sometimes I do feel sorry for the president because there's so many issues that have to be dealt with, which is why delegation is important and all of that. Anyway, so the public has expressed concern about junkies and other people with mental health challenges who are roaming the streets of Accra. Especially if you work at night and you have to use the road, your roads or the pavements, you know, they're taking over the pavement. Some of them are hallucinating, are delusional, they are hearing voices, seeing things. The next thing you hear is, pow! And they would have slapped you for free. For free, you know, just like that. Again, mental health illnesses are treatable and are manageable, you know, if you can take them off the streets and get them the correct care. But then it also seems like a vicious cycle because you put them in the hospital, you get them the correct care, and when you release them, their families don't want them. So then, you know, what do we do? But we have to do something about it. So let's get to my Joy Online now. Let's get to my Joy Online now. So the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. Oh, wow. That sounds very nice. The power of the people is stronger than the people in power. Except that the power of the people only manifests every 4 years. And sometimes the people give up their power for. Then I carry the cross for my family. It must end with me, breast cancer survivor. Supreme Court was afraid, didn't do justice to election petition hearing. That's Spencer White, who was a witness for John Mahama in the election petition. And Akufo-Addo presents 50 vehicles to army, cut sword for $24.8 million housing project. That's another housing project. That one, it will succeed because it's for the army. I was sued for instituting reforms at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Okoboy reveals. Okay. Electoral Commission has become more partisan than political parties. Mr. White again. Speaker of Parliament refers Medina MP's contempt charges against police officers to Privileges Committee. So who's going to be hauled in? Is it the IGP who's going to be hauled in? I don't know. Before the Privileges Committee. To be interesting. Archbishop I think
Which story is that you're doing?
So
That's the MP. No, I think it's the the regional commander for Abokobi Adenta. And
but can they go for those people? I thought the IGP has to, speak for them. Okay. Archbishop of Canterbury, others oppose anti-LGBTQI+ bill, pledged to engage with Archbishop of Ghana. Supreme Court not ready to protect Ghana's democracy, as Ketia says. So.
Okay, all right. So that's it for my journal line. That's it for the newspaper review. But that's not it for the AM show, because we're here until 9 o'clock. And we're going to get into some sports now. When we come back, we're going to have a very interesting conversation about some of the reasons why people are disqualified from joining the security forces. For example, if you have a tattoo, if you have piercings, if you have stretch marks,
if you're short,
if you have tattoos, if you're short.
What's height got to do with it?
What's height got to do with it? We'll be asking Tina Turner when we come back. Don't go anywhere.